All right, hey everybody, this is part 2 of the walkthrough for my R program. So I'm gonna just jump right into it. There was a lot of advice that I gave during our blends discussion. So just an overview, this is the R program that I work on with my students, going from the easiest context usually to the hardest context. And we went through all of the blends, and now what I'm going to do is go through initial R. So you might see on your child's IEP, and I might have explained this to you at their last IEP meeting, that we are in this phase working on what's called Prevocalic R. And what that means is R is going to be followed by a vowel. So that could be in the beginning position, that could be in the middle position, but in the middle position, it's a little bit more specific. So with a word like carrot, there's a vowel after the R, carrot, right? But in a word like beard, there is no vowel after the R, there's just a consonant. Or in a word like bear, where R is the last sound that you make, there is no vowel after it. That's going to be treated a little bit differently. So technically we are talking about prevocalic R in this video. Oh, I just saw a mistake. I can't live with it. Prevocalic, that's what I wanted to write there. Okay, so now after you've done all of your blend work, we have this great foundation of understanding, of our students understanding what we're looking for when we're looking for tongue placement. And we didn't have to try and coach them through this long dissertation about where our tongue should be, what shape it should be in, what we should be doing. They've gotten through that type of coaching on their own with our guidance, of course. So now we're doing initial position, and this is something that I didn't do for the blends, and it's syllables. So the syllables, which there's a little cheat sheet right here, re, ra, ri, re, ro, ru. So I just want them going through the syllables. I want them practicing the syllable 5 times each. And so we'll have a total of 90%. So your data, your notes might look like, okay, re, we, oops. Make sure you have a good R. Okay, re. So that would be 80% because you got 4 right and 1 wrong. Okay. Raw. Ooh, wow, that one's easy. Raw, 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 raw. Okay, great. They did awesome. They did 90% because that was 9 out of 10. So this one might take a couple of tries because some of these syllables are a little bit harder than the rest. What you'll want to do, never mind, this is for the next step. So next step, we're doing initial position, we're doing words. And you want to have a nice mixture of different types of vowels that come after the R. And we're not using any strategies. All we're doing is we're going through the list and we're seeing what kind of R word they're doing well. So I have re as the first environment that we would work on. But technically, what I'm trying to do in this program is do the easiest or the type of context they have the most success in, and then go to the hardest. So if you notice in your assessment right here that they are not doing well on re, but they're doing really well on ri, then you can just kind of shift the program a little bit. You don't have to do it exactly the way I wrote it. So the reason that I did write it this way is because kind of like when we did the blends, how I was showing you how the consonant that came before the R kind of dictates how much movement you're going to have to do in transitioning from that consonant to the R. Now we're looking at the vowel that comes after and where that's placed and how that's going to affect the R. So with re, if we're using that tension strategy, for E, you already have the smile, right? So you can use that tension strategy really quick, and it's really easy. It doesn't feel weird or complicated like it can when we're using that tension strategy. And the back of your tongue is up. So there's not a whole lot of movement. I want to say that it's the least amount of movement. And then for raw, all you're doing is you're dropping your jaw, raw. For rye, it's pretty much the same because the I sound is, it's called a diphthong. It's actually two sounds that kind of glide into each other and we register it as one sound. So it's ah, eh, I, rye. So it's very much like raw, right? Ray, same, it's a diphthong. Ray, yeah, you're dropping your jaw, not as much. And then I put ro and ru at the bottom because with your O and your U sounds, you have to round your lips. So most of the time when we're working on R, it's because the student is making a W instead of an R. And we've been working on tension and working on, a lot of us have been working on not rounding the lips when we say RR. So a lot of times this will affect R. So we're doing all of these just great. And then we get to ro and ru and they become wo and woo, no matter how hard we've been working. So they need a little bit more correction, some comparisons. So work your way through these. And then it is just initial position at the phrase, sentence, just like we did in our last part. So instead of going through re and then doing it independently and then raw, because these are going to be very short lists and they're not going to encompass all the different types of vowels that can come after R. So like rabbit, rabbit isn't covered in here. I know I have RA, but that's for raw. So it would be robin or the word rob or rob. I'm not getting a whole lot. I'm not getting a whole lot off the top of my head. So these are going to be very, very short lists. And what I would suggest is just getting a short 3 to 5 word list and just kind of going through it multiple times to get enough trials where you could reasonably get 85%. And then what I'm going to be doing is putting in all the types of words. So having a good kind of collection of initial position words and going straight on to phrase. And then sentence. And then this one that I changed here, we've got prevocalic medial. So that means it's words that have these syllables in them, ear, ire, r, air, and or. But they have vowels at the end. So for ear, it could be earring, irritated, ire, wiring, have to think of that one. But words like that are, so for ear, earring is good. Beard, we're not working on that type yet. That's a little bit more difficult, a lot bit more difficult than the prevocalic medial. So we're going to work through those. We're only going to require 60% right here. I have low battery. Oh, that's perfect. So we're only going to require 60% right here, and we're going to move on pretty quickly to post-vocalic final. So R at the end of the word. And I know that this looks like a very short version of what we've been doing, like, oh my gosh, we're almost done. This is going to take a lot longer than all the other steps. But not to worry. R takes a long time, and that's okay. If it takes a long time, there's nothing wrong with how you're going through the program. There's nothing wrong with your student. They're not lazy or unmotivated. This takes a long time. Again, we're going to stop our screen share. If you guys have any questions for me, if anything was unclear, which I'm sure it could possibly be, email me, text me, let me know how you guys are doing. I miss being at work with my students, so I would love to hear from you guys with any questions or updates. And otherwise, we're going to go on to part 3. So that will be the next video. See you there.